Today I'm going to be continuing with a series that I started last year, where I just talk about a few things briefly instead of doing my usual review style of video. The last time I did this, I talked about 3 different YouTube channels that I really like, and this time I will be talking about 3 filmmakers that are very dear to me. These are filmmakers that I feel I was lucky enough to discover pretty early on in life when I was still very impressionable, and also at a time when I was looking for guidance as an aspiring artist. And I feel that what I found in these filmmakers was not only creative guidance, but also an expansion of my worldview as well.
What's your relationship with your audience? Do you think about your audience? I mean, I think you have, fans out there. I mean, I don't know if you think about them.
I just try to make that shit as base as possible. I just try to make it based. I try to bring the heat. That's all I try to do.
There was a midnight screening of Harmony's most recent movie called Aggro Drift at TIFF last year, which I was hoping to go see, but unfortunately the scalpers got to the tickets before I could get there, and so it would have cost me $150 to go. So I missed that opportunity, unfortunately. But I really wish I could have been there because I know Harmony was there and he showed up in costume, and he also gave a great Q&A. However, they have been touring the movie just over the past few months, doing one city at a time, and I was thankfully able to go see it just a couple weeks ago. And, at the moment, the movie it still feels kind of like a blur to me. It is a very novel experience, and so I'm going to hold off on giving my thoughts on it for now, but I'm glad I got to see it. I saw it at the Fox Theatre here in Toronto, which is it's like one of the cutest theaters that we have in this city, and it was actually kind of funny to be seeing such an incredibly brutal movie in one of our nicest and safest neighborhoods. I would describe Harmony Korine movies as both very visceral and very provocative, and I really can't think of any other movie-going experience that is even comparable to seeing a Harmony Korine movie, because his stuff truly is so far left of left field. I've heard Harmony say many times that he's just trying to make the movies that he wants to see. And he's also been very vocal about his frustration with traditional storytelling, because he feels that, there's just so many ways you could potentially tell a story, and yet every movie does it in the exact same way every single time. And as a moviegoer, I think I differ from Harmony in that I truly do love traditional storytelling. But as an artist, I would say I strongly relate to Harmony in that I just have very little interest in making things in a conventional way. And I think in principle, sticking to a formula or just trying to make something that is traditionally likable is something that I find very creatively stifling. And I think growing up watching Harmony's movies kind of just informed me that I really should just go ahead and make anything that I want. And that is a sentiment that I've carried with me ever since. I think Harmony's movies have just been getting better and better over time, so if you're looking to watch something of his, I would probably recommend The Beach Bum or Spring Breakers. However, I would also say the movies Gummo and Julian Donkey Boy would both be a pretty great primer if you just want to get a sense of what Harmony is all about.
What advice I would give writer-directors? I would just say try to be great. Try to give extra. Try to, be bold. Try to invent your own reality. Try to, do what's not been done before. I would just say don't even get started if you're going to just try to do some mediocre shit, because there's so much of that. Don't do it just to make noise. There's too much noise. Give me something amazing. Give me something new. Give me something I haven't seen before in a way I haven't seen it. Let me feel something. Give me, find some kind of magic. Go towards something that's inexplicable. Give it to me. Give me something that's aggressive and gnarly and chew up the world. Come at it from some other place. But just don't give me the same shit over and over again, because I don't want it.
If I abandon this project, I would be a man without dreams, and I don't want to live like that. I I live my life or I end my life with this project.
Harmony and Werner are two filmmakers that I discovered right around the same time, and I can't really remember who led me to the other, but basically the two of them have worked together multiple times and they've supported each other multiple times. I think the first Werner Herzog film that I saw was Grizzly Man, and if you haven't seen that one, I'm just going to go ahead and highly recommend it to you right out the gate, because I think it is definitely one of his best and also one of his most accessible movies. It's a documentary about a wildlife enthusiast named Timothy Treadwell who was tragically eaten alive by a bear. This was a man that spent multiple summers by himself in a national park in Alaska trying to live alongside grizzly bears, and to me, this movie feels kind of like a magical sunset over this man's very tragic life. I would describe Werner Herzog as an extremely passionate visionary, and I think he is very gifted when it comes to putting a spotlight on people and on characters that are truly champions of their own path in life. Herzog has probably put out just as many commercially successful movies as he has commercial failures, but that is not to say that any of his movies should be overlooked, because even his least successful ones still tend to be celebrated, but just for less obvious reasons. And that's something I find very inspiring about Werner, because I think as a creative person, it's just absolutely necessary that you put very little value on commercial recognition. And I think Werner is just someone who has a lot of artistic integrity in that way, you know? I think he is someone that is just going to make the movie that he believes in every single time. Some personal recommendations when it comes to Werner Herzog movies are Grizzly Man, as I've already mentioned, but some of my other favorites are My Son, What Have Ye Done?, Bad Lieutenant, Encounters at the End of the World, and Into the Abyss.
Sometimes I believe that the images that I've created are nothing sensational, nothing futuristic or avant-gardistic. It is something that is deeply inside of us, dormant inside of us, and I'm the one who can awaken these images. And it's your images, actually, and it's like a brother or a sister, unknown, unbeknownst to you, who all of a sudden comes to life, and you realize you've got a brother. And this is wonderful if I can create that. And all of a sudden, in rare moments it happens when you hear great music or when you see a great movie. Very rarely it happens that you have moments of deep illumination and moments where you know that you are not alone anymore. And that's the ultimate I can reach. If there's anyone out there who after seeing, let's say, Stroszek, has a feeling, I'm not alone anymore, then I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve in my life.
And I want to say one more thing, because it's a nice thing to think about. If you hear of a light bulb that does not remove darkness, you have not heard of a light bulb. If you hear of a peace plan that does not remove negativity, you have not heard of a real peace plan. This removes negativity. Real peace is not just the absence of war, it's the absence of the seeds of war, negativity. You want real peace, enliven this field of unity.
It was only a matter of time before I started talking about David Lynch on this channel, and that is because it would be pretty hard for me to name another artist that has had more of an influence on me. And when I say that, I don't mean just in the creative sense, but also just in the way that I approach my daily life as well. He introduced me to transcendental meditation, which I now practice daily, and I think that alone has led to such an important shift in my life, where I have slowly been removing negative habits and replacing them with positive ones. He is definitely one of the most forward-thinking filmmakers out there. And I would say that, at least for me, each one of his movies is just so rejuvenating whenever I put one on. And particularly during periods of my life where I feel like I'm starting to lose faith in myself. His work truly makes me believe in magic. And it also encourages me to keep trying to capture my own magic in life. And I think in general, David Lynch just gets me excited about taking creative risks. And in a way, he kind of makes me feel like, creative risks kind of just don't even exist. You know what I mean? Because if you really think about it, where is the danger in just going your own way with your art? He's also just got like the best fucking hair. Twin Peaks is just the obvious recommendation if you're looking to watch something by Lynch. I would say that's probably my favorite TV show ever made. But as far as his movies go, I would say my personal favorites are Mulholland Drive and Lost Highway.
Yeah, that, it doesn't make sense, or, people don't understand. Like, what do you think about that? And what would you say to other people who maybe like making things that other people don't think make sense?
I think I love ideas. I like a story that's got some concrete, structure, but also holds abstractions. Life is filled with abstractions, and the way we make heads or tails of it is through intuition. And so people get used to a film that pretty much explains itself 100%, and they kind of turn off that, beautiful thing of intuition when they're looking at a film that has some abstractions. And some people, on the other hand, love these abstractions, and it gives them room to dream. An abstraction, to me, is a thing that cinema can say. And it's so beautiful, for me anyway, to think about these pictures and sounds flowing along together in time in a sequence, making a thing that can only really be said in cinema. It's not words, it's not just music, it's a whole bunch of things coming together and making a thing that didn't exist before. And that's what I really love about it.
I would not describe myself as a very confident person. But sometimes I feel I've had confidence gifted to me by others, and I would say that these filmmakers are among a very special breed of people who have helped me to believe in myself. Whether you love these guys or you hate them, I would be willing to bet that they truly do not care. And I would also be willing to bet that they're just going to continue being true to themselves, and that is why I think they're awesome.